Oh, thank you guys for being here. I absolutely love getting the day started with a little bit of music, and I can tell some of you do too, which is awesome. And my day's actually been going for a while, but I am so excited for this content today. I'm so excited because we're going to do something slightly different. A lot of times we'll kind of present a concept, or you should try this, or here's an idea that we think would be really valuable. But one thing that we have not done previously that we're doing today is we're going to roll out a week-long agenda for what a top producer can and should and definitely would succeed doing. And this has been a really big project. It's been really interesting because one of the things that I love doing with this particular training, and obviously we pass the mic around a lot on here, but I knew I was jumping on and I said, you know what? I want to jump in and I want to give some very, very outside the norm content today. And so I developed a week-long strategy for exactly hour for hour what I would do if I were getting started with $0 tomorrow for an entire week. And I'm talking from wake up to go to bed, including mindset training, the whole deal. And I'm going to show you guys this because here's the thing. Look, I know that there's a lot of stuff out there, guys, and you're welcome to use this. You're welcome to cannibalize it and use parts of it. That's fine, and just kind of pick and choose what works for you. I get all of that. But the thing that I do want to tell you is that there is a really, really important thing that happens when we're planning out our careers, which is, well, actually, let's change that. I'm going to say this differently. I'm going to say some people plan what they're going to do, and some people accident their way into success or failure. How many people know what I mean? Like, you can either plan your way to where you want to go, and maybe you succeed or fail, or you can accident your way to success or failure. But which one of those do you feel like you have more control over, right? Like for me, I want to have control. I want to know what I'm doing and I want to have a plan, right? When I was growing up, my dad used to always say to me, plan the work and then work the plan. That's it, right? If you study DISC at all, he's a super high C. So I just got it pounded into me from a young age. Like you have to have a plan. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be prepared, right? And then I talk to so many agents. I've coached thousands of agents. And the reality is many times it's like, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm trying really hard. Well, trying what specifically, right? But we need a plan. And so I decided, let's put together a plan. And if you don't have one, use mine. I'm going to give it to you right now. Okay. So I'm going to set up screen share here. This one's going to be slightly different for those of you who hang out with us on a regular basis. And by the way, thanks for joining us. If you're a guest, we love that you're here. We're the community. We're a growth and support and coaching, training, online courses, everything, organization inside eXp Realty, the greatest real estate brokerage on the planet. And also, we love that you're here today joining us as a guest. If you want to learn more about what it is that we do, why our agents are disproportionately selling more houses than the rest of the marketplace, I track those stats and it's true. Talk to the person who invited you today, right? Get an opt-in. But anyway, enough with the sales pitch. All right. So I want you guys to see what I've prepped for today. And this is going to scare the crap out of you because look over on the side here. We've got 50 pages of content. Holy guacamole. All right. That's too much. 50 pages, though, that we got to get through today. And I'm going to walk you guys through this because my goal is for this to be a primer based on exactly what's going to happen here. And this took a minute to put together, but I really want you guys to understand what we're doing. All right. I believe that I've created this program for what I like to call Agent Lions. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and slap a trademark on it because why the hell not? But here's the thing. Agent Lions, for me, I have this visualization activity that I do all the time. And I believe that an agent lion is someone who behaves like a lion, right? And one of my very favorite quotes, it's a little bit snarky, but it says, everyone wants to be a lion until it's time to do lion shit. All right. And I'm just going to say it the way it is, right? Until it's time to hunt. It's like, oh, I'm a lion. Grr, now you're a pussycat, man. Come on, lion up. All right. So today we are going to become lions. We're going to think as lions. The challenge that I've put together is called a challenge because it's challenging. If you did this whole week, actually, I have a prediction, by the way. I think anyone who tried to do this whole week would fail. And here's why. Because you're going to get to like day 2 or 3 and you're going to have so much business falling out of the activities that you've been doing that it's going to be impossible to continue on the agenda. But I got to walk you through how this thing works. Here's the table of contents. I walk you through every single day. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I give them all names. I do walk you through a little bit of mindset stuff at the beginning, how the program works and what not to do, and then a getting prepared checklist, because there's certain stuff that you actually need in order to be able to do everything that I'm giving you on here. And I just got to tell you guys, I'm so excited about this. Oh my goodness. I don't know if we're going to make it through all this. I really hope so. We got 90 minutes. We're going to go quick though, because I want to be able to answer questions that you may have at the end. All right. So one question that I love asking agents, and usually in my first coaching session with anybody, I'll always ask, are you currently living up to your potential? Go ahead and hit me back with your answer to that in the chat right now. I want to see some people's answers. Are you living to your potential, right? Don't compare yourself to anyone else, but what you're capable of. Are you, not even close, right? That's Steve. Kinsey says no. Brian says no. Aaliyah says no. Cassie, no. Mike, Kevin, Desiree, 27%. That's awesome. You're a high C. Olga, no. Alexis, no. Emily, laugh out loud. EXP Indy says Liz, yes. Bill, no. Natasha, no. Oh man, right. Generally speaking, the answer is no. But what do we do more often than not? We accidentally compare ourselves to who? To ourselves or to someone else? It's a humongous mistake. I want you today to forget about the rest of the world. Give yourself permission to not have to compare. Right? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not mean enough or nice enough or fun enough or whatever enough. I'm not enough. Right? That's the concern. And compare you to you. Right? There's a quote that I put in here. I don't remember where it is, so I'm not going to look for it right now, but I know the quote. Right? The definition of hell is that you die and then you meet the person that you could have become. For me, that is the definition of hell. I will opt out of that one. Unsubscribe, right? I don't want to do that. So listen, if you are not currently living up to your potential, I believe that should be just shy of, if not everybody on earth. I believe that if you were to ask some very top, Michael Jordan at the peak of his career, are you living up to your potential? He would say no. Why? Because he always saw something better. Why else would he be practicing? Why else would he be showing up every day? He was striving for perfection based on what he knew was possible for himself. Okay, so I want you to understand that this is a powerful, powerful option for you in terms of building yourself. I want you guys to read this, but you can read it on your own time. I am going to give this PDF out at the end of this journey. So for all of those of you who are inside the community center, you're going to be able to get a copy of this PDF. I'm going to go through it live today. Why? Because if I gave you the PDF right now, all you do is go look at it. And I'll put a link to it at the end. I just realized I haven't created the link yet, but we'll create the link and then put a link to it at the end. All right, I'm quick. How the program works and what not to do. So I'm going to go through this with you guys so that you understand. And here's the thing I want you to do. Stay checked in. If you are here to learn today, I promise in this situation, I say 1 to 5 deals in a week. And you're going, Jeff, that can't be right. It is right. This is correct. And I want you to understand that might sound unrealistic to you. And you got to get, thank you, Cassie. Cassie says, I believe. You got to get your belief structure in place for that. Here's what might not be true. If you repeated this 5 times in a row that you're going to do 5 times 5 and do 25 deals in 5 weeks, that may not be accurate. Why? Because you're going to stack such a deep bench of potential business for yourself that you're actually going to switch gears in your business into tending the farm instead of generating the farm. But if you're not sitting here right now going, I don't know what to do because I've got so much damn business, Jeff, then plug in, baby, because here we go. Okay. That's what we're doing today. All right. Back to our preview. This program works. You got to believe it. I've coached a lot of agents, and this is all real tactics. This is from elite producers around the country. This is not just my opinion, and none of this is theory. This is all stuff we've really done. I've done all of it. All of our agents have done all of it. All the people we coach have done all of it. It all works. All right. So you don't have to question that. You can just question whether or not you're doing it right. Don't get creative. This is not a coloring book. It's a guide to success. It's designed as a standard operating procedure, an SOP, like you're in the military. This is not a suggestion. Don't change anything. Number 3, everything matters. The plan's the plan. You don't get to cherry pick. You don't get to pick which part you want to do. So if you're all in, be a lion, do the whole damn thing. Number 4, health is wealth. This program isn't focused around your health, but I can definitely tell you that if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep, eating less, moving more, meditating every day, that you are going to feel like a trash can. And if you feel like a trash can, your performance is going to follow suit. And I say eating less. Jeff, don't you mean eating the right things? Listen, start off with eating less. Just trust me on that one. I lost 85 pounds by eating less. Did you eat only broccoli? No. I ate a lot of Doritos, but I ate a lot less, like an insane amount less. Like I ate one time a day, right? So you can eat a lot less, lose weight, feel tremendously better. By the way, don't go on the Dorito diet. That's a terrible idea. Okay, number 5, should to must. What does that mean, Jeff? It means all of your shoulds are going to create a shouldy life. You're going to be shoulding all over yourself, as I heard Ryan say this last week on our open coaching hour. It's awesome. Guess what? You can't say, I should go to the gym if you want to win the Olympics. You must go to the gym. And in this case, you must plug in if you want to see results. That's how it works. So commit fully and your life will be full. That's how it works. Number 6, this program does not incorporate any eating time. What do you mean, Jeff? It means as you're looking through the agenda, you're going to be like, where am I supposed to eat? I don't know, whenever you want. But you're going to have to plan your meals in advance, and then you're going to eat on the go. That is what top producers do. If you missed that memo during real estate school, it's because they didn't cover it. But I promise you, you're going to need to eat on the go. And here's the thing. I want you to get ready for that in advance of the damn thing. So the day before, you're going to prep all your meals for the week. Well, I'm not very good at cooking. Ham and whatever. I don't care what you do, man. Put something in a Ziploc bag, get a granola bar, whatever it is that's your thing, but just be ready to go on the go so that it doesn't take a lot of time away from your work schedule. We're going to do 7 days of like ridiculous nuclear level effort, just exploding our capacity within a week. You're going to be exhausted by the end of the week. But you're not going to be sitting around having 3-hour-long lunches and 6-hour-long dinners. That's not how it's going to work. I promise you're going to be breezing through those on the way to your next awesomeness. All right, number 7, limit alcohol and other depressants during the week. I just want you to stay sharp, okay? I actually put back on here, I said food should not be a reward or a self-soothing mechanism. Remember, humans get sharper and more alert when calories dip because our body thinks that we need to hunt. I want you to be lions. Agent lions. And if you're going to do that, that means you can't numb out with other stuff either. Well, I really like having, 1, 2, 10 drinks at the end of the day. Don't do that this week. Just when you plan this week, I want you to just chill out. Let your autonomic nervous system find itself again and find the warrior. Okay. This is important. None of this is personal, by the way. I love alcohol. It's rad. Okay. So this is not about whether or not to drink. I'm just telling you, be limited if you're going to do this program. Number 8, appointments are over everything. What do you mean by that? Well, the only acceptable deviation from this plan, if you're going to do this challenge, the only acceptable deviation is when a new listing or buyer appointment gets scheduled over one of the activities that's currently listed here. If it says at 4 p.m. you're supposed to be doing whatever, and somebody says, I need to meet with you tomorrow at 4 p.m. to talk about listing my house, let's not be stupid. That takes priority every time, period. However, meeting with your home inspector does not. Let's clarify. Income producing activity on the one side, non-income producing activity on the other side. I don't care if you send somebody else. I don't care if you hire somebody else. I don't care what else you do. But you're not going to that appointment, and you're not going to your hair appointment, and you're not going to your dentist appointment. Cancel everything. This is the week. Jeff, you're being too hardcore. All right. Then don't get these results. That's okay. Number 9, as with any real estate approach, here's my CYA. Please ensure that you follow all applicable rules, regulations, and laws. Compliance is important. I'm not your supervising broker. So your broker will help you know if you're like, I'm not sure if I can do this, that, the other, whatever, that's fine. Then check with your broker. Okay. You always should anyway. Here's your getting prepared checklist. I'm going to go through this quickly because this isn't the meat and potatoes, and I know you're wanting meat and potatoes. Number 1, you're going to need a printer or someplace you can print. Number 2, a ream of neon yellow paper. Does it have to be neon yellow? Guys, I said don't deviate from the plan. Stop asking that question. All right. Number 3, a blank legal pad and a pen you like. That one can be whatever color. Next, comfortable shoes, also any color you're going to move on this challenge. Get all of your meals for the week prepped. I give you some suggestions in there. You can read that later. Next, 20 open house signs with directional arrows on them. 20? Yes. Can I have a different number than 20? Yes, you can have 30. Can't have 10. Okay. Next, plenty of water and a portable bottle for hydration throughout the day. Your brain is 75% water. This is going to make a big difference in your mood, your memory, your drive, your capacity to handle stress. We're going to create a lot of stress inside you throughout this week-long challenge if you choose to do it. And by the way, that's an if. You can hang out today, and then at the end, you can be like, yep, not for me. Cool. That's all right. Or you could be like, I'm going to do that one thing he said because that sounded pretty fun. That's great too. You are going to need a for sale by owner source. This is not all we do in here. In fact, it's a very, very small percentage, but you are going to need some source. That could be as simple as Craigslist. if you just want to keep it free. It's totally fine with me, but you're going to do a couple calls. All right. Day one. Here we go. Now, I know it feels like I'm walking you through this program one by one, but here's the thing. I find that providing some clarity around this, and I do this with coaching clients, I do this with a lot of people. I really, truly believe that this is powerful, and I want you to try to stay plugged in. I can see most of you, which is really fun, by the way. I love this. I'm looking over here. I can see you guys. You look rad, by the way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for smiling. I love it. But I want to connect with you, but I also want to personalize this content so you don't feel like, oh, it's just an ebook. Yeah, it is. Guess what? Packed inside this is my success method that could get you $10,000 to $50,000 in new income in a week. I know what you make at your old job before you were in real estate, but 50G in a week, that's pretty good, right? So that's like 2.5 million a year. Anyway, day one. Go big. Congratulations on starting your journey. All right. I really believe that this entire program is about grit. In fact, there's an Angela Duckworth book called Grit. I think you should read it if you haven't read it. She's freaking amazing. But it talks about the power of that one thing. What is grit? Somebody give me a definition of grit. I want to see that in the chat. In fact, I'm going to kill screen share for a second so you don't just read my screen. What is grit? Somebody give me a definition, or just unmute yourself. That's fine with me. What's grit? I'm not going on until you answer. Getting it done, Cassie says. What else? What's grit? That's part of it, Cassie. I love that answer. But it's not all of it, though, right? Because there's some other piece in there, right? Grit is the things other people won't do, right? I love that. Get it done no matter what, right? So there's kind of an implication, Michelle says, in doing it no matter what adversity shows up. Kevin says focus. Jeremy says courage. It's an emotion shift, Christine says. Yeah, these are awesome answers, right? Grit it's an intangible thing, but we all kind of know what it is. It means I'm going to go that direction, and no matter what boulders get dropped in my way, I'm going around, over, or through, right? And I'm getting where I'm going, period. Well, what if it takes a long time? Then it takes a long time. What if it's really hard? Then it's hard. That's just what it is. That's grit, right? And I love grit. I like gritty people. I like spending my time with people who have grit, because grit tells me that you're not weak mentally. Who wants to raise your hand if you want to be mentally weak? No, of course not, right? That's crazy. If you raised your hand, it's because you weren't paying attention. Right? Nobody wants to be mentally weak. We all want to think of ourselves as mentally strong, right? Having fortitude. But what does that mean? It really means that's a trained process. It's a muscle that you've got to flex. You got to work it out, right? And when you first start working out a muscle, how is it, right? At the beginning, when you start working out a new muscle, your grit muscle, and you haven't been working that out, and you're like, dang, man, my biceps like flapping and hanging down here. It's like not very good. And then you start working it out and it gets bigger, and you work it out some more and it gets bigger, right? It gets stronger. That's really what happens. If you work out your grit muscle, it gets stronger over time, but it will not unless you push yourself into what I like to call, and everyone likes to call, discomfort. Comfortable is the opposite of growth. Okay, so here we go. Back to our screen share. Let's dig in a little bit more. So you can do this. I really believe in you. I say at X a.m. you're going to wake up. Why? Because I don't give two flying poopadoodles when you wake up. Doesn't matter to me. I do care that you start work at 8 a.m. Okay, we're giving you an agenda. Some of you are like, what's my job in real estate? I'm going to show you. This is a job in real estate, a job. If I hired you, right? If I was building a team, by the way, this is what we would do tomorrow. We've thought about it. I don't think we're ever going to do that again, but we'll see. Okay, but check this out. If you did this, think about the results you'd have. All right, wake up, get ready, drink some water, give yourself plenty of time to prep and primp and whatever you got to do. 5 minutes of meditation. How many people currently meditate every day? Meditation, part of your day. Okay, get some hands, get some people waving. That's great. I love meditation. A little bit of time to just ground yourself, find yourself. Doesn't even have to be a super long time. 5 minutes is a brilliant amount of time to meditate. If you don't know what you're doing with that, grab an app like Headspace or something. Just get in there, get meditating, find yourself, center yourself. A little bit of breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. It's amazing. Also, after your meditation, then flip to the other side. 15 minutes listening to music that elevates you and gets you fired up. I did put the link in here to our Core 90 playlist. All the music that we play at the beginnings of these gets everybody jumping around. We've carefully selected that stuff. It's all in a major key. It's all at a very similar kind of up pep beat. All of it is designed to help you stay positive, Obviously, this is just Spotify, so we don't make any money. We're just trying to get you guys what you need. So if you need something, what I don't recommend is like super aggressive, angry music, right? Death metal, wrong answer. Screamo, wrong answer. Just for this, I want you to have something that feels vibrant, peppy, and happy, right? You can't go from unhappy into doing what we're going to try and do. 8 a.m., 1 hour. This is day number 1, guys. We got 7 days to cover, so plug in with me. I'm going to go really fast. 8 a.m., you're going to spend an hour. You're going to call 5 for sale by owner property owners. Wait, am I going to call 5? No, you're going to speak to 5. For anyone who's called means they understand what that means, right? Are you calling 5 to speak to 5? No, you're calling however many it takes to speak to 5 in 1 hour. Well, what else do I do during that hour? This is all you're doing during that hour. If you run out, keep going. That's fine. But it's an hour of making this call. And the key question that you're going to ask is, when will you be interviewing agents for the job of selling your home? And then you're going to be quiet and you're simply going to listen to their response. From there, the whole entire process is to ask to see the home. You're setting an appointment. That's it. Awesome. Then when you end the hour, I want you to drink some water, take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, clear your mind, and you're moving on to the 9 a.m. time block. And check it out. We're going to switch it up every hour. We're not doing the same thing all day long. Well, I can't stand the tedium. There is no tedium. We're going to keep you guessing the whole time. It's muscle confusion, all right? We're going to the gym. You're starting a new training routine. We're going to keep you switching up. 9 a.m., 1 hour, you're going to call and speak to 5 local people who know, like, and trust you, and make more than $5 to speak to 5, which we said previously. If you have past clients, you must, look at these rules. This is awesome. You must start with them at this step. Well, I haven't called my past client. Good. That's awesome. I called all my past clients last week. Don't care. Call them again. Hey, one more thing. I know we just talked last week. That's okay. But here, at some point, you're going to ask, well, listen, I could use a little help with something. Look, I'm always curious, since I live on referrals, who do you know, neighbors, work connections, friends, that might be looking to buy or sell a home this year? Here's my only thing I'm going to add, and it's not in the book. All right? Smile. I'm going to give you 2 different deliveries on that. Okay? One while I'm frowning or kind of looking serious. I'll just try to make my face look serious. Well, listen, I could use a little help with something. I'm always curious since I live on referrals. Who do you know, neighbor? Okay, can't even do it, guys. Now I'm going to smile. I'm going to raise my eyebrows. That looks crazy, like a clown. That's okay, because I'm on the phone, not on screen. I'm on screen with you guys. You can make fun of me. That doesn't matter to me. I just want you to be successful. But if I smile, watch this. Well, listen, I could use a little help with something. I'm always curious since I live on referrals. Who do you know, neighbors, work connections, or friends that might be looking to buy or sell a home this year? I don't sound crazy. I sound happy. I sound pleasant. I sound contented, and I don't sound desperate. Those are the things. If they give you a name, get the number, right? Don't stop with the name. Well, Bob, awesome. Thanks for the call. Click. Oh, whoops. How do I get a hold of Bob? And if they're like, I'll send you his info, be like, oh, no, that's all right. I got a pen right here. Yeah, let me just write it down. I'll put it in my notes. Trust me, get the name and number right then. They will not remember to do what they just said, and don't put your business in their hands. Awesome. Call that person immediately. This is part of this time block. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, tell me a little bit about what your plans are to buy this year or to sell this year, depending on what they're doing. And then be quiet, listen, take notes, ask follow-up questions. Only don't sidetrack the conversation, or as I call it, going off to China, and then set an appointment to meet in person ASAP. If you get a voicemail, don't leave a message. What do you mean don't leave a message? I mean, don't leave a message. Just call back again. Set a reminder on your phone. Call them again at 5 p.m. Then when you end the hour, drink some water. Exhausted. Here we go. We're at 10 a.m. We've only been going for 2 hours, and it's only day 1 of 7. This is how this works, guys. If you're like, why am I not selling a house every single week? That's 52 a year as a solo agent. Let's go. Hour number 3 of the week. Speak to each of your current clients. If you don't have any, we'll cover what to do below. Keep the calls under 5 minutes. I'm about to run into a meeting. I thought of you. I wanted to call and touch base really quickly. Be happy, enthusiastic, and optimistic. Smile, right? It's awesome. Ask each of them, listen, I could use a little help with something. I'm always curious. Same script. Holy crap. But I just did that for an hour. Yeah, if you have more past clients, keep going. If you don't, that's okay. Then flip it and call people that you didn't know. Or excuse me, that you do know that weren't past clients. Thank you. If you have no current clients, or you've called all your past clients, then just do 5 more of those local conversations, just said that, and then drink some water. when you're done. Jeff, why do I keep drinking water? I'm going to be peeing my brains out. Yeah, because we're trying to clear your liver, kidney, all that kind of stuff. What's going to do is it's actually going to open up your whole system. It's going to clear your lymph system. Suddenly, by day like 3, you're going to feel your energy shoot through the roof if you're drinking way more water than you're used to. I promise you, this works. 75% of the brain, it's water. 75% of the what? I forgot. No, it's water. All right, that's how your memory works. 11 o'clock. For 10 minutes, you're going to choose an address for an open house. I can't do that in 10 minutes. Yeah, you can. All work expands to fill the time allotted. Spend 10 minutes. Well, I don't have a listing. That's okay. Call an agent friend who does have listings, preferably someone with a lot of them. All right. Remember, top agents love to provide open houses for their listings. Most of them don't want to do it themselves. I shouldn't say most. Many don't. But a lot of times they don't have time, and that's okay. But what I want you to know is that this is open to you. Well, I am a top agent, but I don't have any listings right now. Great, then call another top agent, get something to hold open because you need this open house then, all right? And the day for the open house must be on day 5 of the program. Well, if I'm starting on Monday, that would be Friday, and I heard that open house. Stop. Day 5 of the program, I don't care. Just put it on day 5. Stop overthinking it. I promise you this is gonna work. All right, and then drink some water. 11:10. Now you get 20 minutes to do this. You're going to pull a quick neighborhood comps report with 6 months of sold, pending, and active. You could do more than 6 months. The goal is to get to 6 properties. Sold, pendings, actives, put them all on one sheet. All right. Then you're also going to put your name, required broker info, and your phone number on the sheet. You're going to put the address, the day and time of the open house. By the way, go check day 5 for the day and time of the open house. And beds, baths, and square footage for the open house do not include the price of the house. If it's someone else's listing, obviously you got to give them the little, boop, listing provided by Shibbity Shop on there. Make sure that that's compliant. Then you are going to print 100 copies of the sheet on one side of neon yellow paper. Why neon yellow? You'll see. If you get done before 11:30, call as many people as you can and ask the 9 a.m. time block question again. Guys, are you already feeling overwhelmed? You're like, this is too much. This is too much. I wouldn't do this much. I know. That's okay. I've done this week. It freaking works, by the way. You just can't do it too many weeks in a row because nobody can do 5 escrows per week for very long before feeling overwhelmed. You're going to have to hire a staff. All right, 30 minutes. Announce your open house on all of your social media phrases or pages with the phrase, working hard for my clients this week, or for clients this week if it's not your clients. Call and speak to 2 top producing lenders and tell them that you're holding the open house. Ask them if they have any clients that might be a good fit. Interesting. While you're on the phone, though, we're warming up the conversation. By the way, the little Columbo approach here. Do you have any fresh buyers that aren't already working with another agent? How do I get my lenders to give me deals? Ask for them. Ask repeatedly. Ask consistently. Ask often. If you're not asking, you're not going to get it. Somebody else is asking. Okay? If they say yes, awesome, thanks. Let me go ahead and grab that info so I can reach out, blah, blah, blah. If they say no, let's do each other a favor and see if we can each find a piece of business we can work together this week. I'll reach out later in the week, see how it's going. Hold them accountable. They want to be your lender. Make them do the job. That's okay. They don't just get to milk you for business. 12 p.m., it's noon. Well, that's usually when I take a 6-hour lunch. All right, well, that's all right. This week, we're going to do something different. Announce your open house without the address, post the pics, time, and a cool few features. Then ask people, or then when people ask where, you private message them, hey, thanks for reaching out. It's actually over at blah, blah, blah. I'm curious though, where are you wanting to buy? Assume they're a buyer. Why? Because they'll correct you if they're not. Even if it's your mom, just assume. It's all right. Don't forget, you're going to get on your walking shoes, drive over to the area of your open house. You have to have 100 neon yellow printed sheets with you. Don't forget. And as soon as you get to the house, get a jump on the 1 p.m. time block. No wasted time here. You're going to drink some water and you're going to take 5 deep, slow breaths. I'm going to demonstrate this for you. I use this all the time. And by the way, if you want to calm your autonomic nervous system, even right now, if my voice is freaking you out because you're like, Jeff is too much of a spaz. He drinks too much coffee or whatever he's doing, right? That's okay. I don't really care how it makes you feel. But what I want you to do is take 2 breaths in through your nose and 1 long, slow breath out through your mouth. Just try it. You do a few of those. It is unbelievable what it does for you. Jessica, if you already have a different color, a neon paper, yes, that's fine. Thank you for asking. That's awesome. The idea is that it's neon because we want it to be visible from the street. Okay, that's it. Neon pink, neon yellow, they work really well, neon green. But it needs to be neon, right? It needs to be that like kind of annoying color. That's hard. The only problem with neon pink sometimes, it depends on the neon, right? Some of the neon pinks tend to be really just dark pink. And then when you print black on top of it, it's hard to read. That's been my only pushback on that. If you've got great pink, use great pink. That's awesome. Okay, so that's the idea with this part. What happens when you calm your autonomic nervous system? If you're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, do that a couple of times. You'll instantly calm your entire system down. It triggers the vagus nerve. A bunch of things happen and your body falls right back into alignment. Okay, so if you're wondering, how do some people run at like 100 miles an hour all the time? You have to have a self-soothing method that allows you to come back down, right? I like running at full steam, but I can't do that all the time because that's like redlining your car. You got to bring it down every once in a while and idle for a minute, and then you can get to go back, okay? It's good. It feels good though, by the way, to keep going. All right, speaking of keeping going, let's keep going. So at this 1 p.m., you're going to have your 100 flyers with you. You are going to go out and start door knocking the street that you are going to be holding your open house on. It's not very complicated, guys. But remember, you have to knock on every single door as you go down. Well, do I zigzag or do I just go straight to? I don't care. Here's the goal, though. The goal is to minimize the amount of time between houses. If what you normally do is knock on a door, check your email for 35 minutes, right? Check Facebook and then go to the next door, that's way too much time. I would say you should be just shy of power walking to the next door. Get there. And then Casey says, what do we do with no soliciting signs in the yard? Skip that one. Sure, I don't care. That's up to you. Every state has different regulations. Some HOAs have certain regulations. You're just going to have to check based on what's possible. You might want to check into that before you select the open house, right? Certainly depends on if you're soliciting. Everyone has a different perspective on this, and I don't want to get into crazy debate. If I'm being honest, I probably knock on the door. But that's just me being honest, and you do whatever you want. Okay. So if nobody answers, here's the thing. If somebody answers, I tell you what to do. If nobody answers, you just leave a flyer tucked into the door handle next to it or in the jamb of the door. The basic thing, though, is here, you want it to be visible from the road. Why? Because when people are driving home later that day, I want them to see neon, 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 neon as they're passing all these doors. 100 of these bad boys. 100, Jeff? That's so much calories. I know. Next. The goal here is to reduce the time between houses, so you're going to move fast. If you get sweaty, I don't care. Neither does the person answering the door, but your sweat tells your story of hard work, so just go for it. Who cares? And by the way, sweating releases toxins from the body, including heavy metals, which we can't excrete in any other way. So get your sweat on, baby. It's good for you. Stay hydrated, drink some water. When people do answer the door, here you go. Hi there. Look, I'm not selling anything. My name's Jeff. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm letting the neighbors know actually about an open house that we have coming up here in the neighborhood. Here's a flyer with the details. I included all the local sales for the neighborhood as well, just for you. And also, before I get out of your hair, I'm just curious, do you happen to know of anyone here with real estate plans this year? That's it. Then when you've left 100 flyers on 100 doors, wait, Jeff, what do I do after that? You be quiet, let them answer, and then have a natural conversation. I don't need to give you every script for every eventuality. You can figure that out. Stay smiling the whole time, though, by the way. This is important. Just trust me, the smile is the move. Okay? And then once you are out there, you are just going to also... you can be telling them that you've been talking with some of the neighbors, that there's some interest. You're going to show them the paper that you're handing out. Look, let me know your comments, or if you want to copy this summary paper, I'll send it your way, or if you'd like one for your neighborhood. Like all of what you're doing. Oh, sorry, you can put that on social media. You are going to give the flyer to the person when you knock on the door. Sorry, I got confused there. You're going to give the flyer to the person when you knock on the door. Then you're going to do this social media video when you're done. Jeff, I'm sweaty. I don't care. That's awesome. That's awesome. Tousle your hair. Stick it to your face deliberately, right? Show people that you work for a living. It's not a lottery win, guys, if you haven't figured that out. Drive back to your workspace. I don't say office because not everyone has one, right? Like I work from home. So you just got to work from where you work from. All right, 4 p.m., right? Because this is 3 hours later. How long does it take to door knock 100 doors? If you do the math, generally speaking, it should be about 3 hours. At 4 p.m. on day one. And by the way, you're probably like, Jeff, you're not going to make it through 7 days. Yes, I am. You'll see how. Print 100 more flyers for tomorrow. Oh, I know. Feel our stomachs sink just a little bit. Oh, I don't want to do that. Then don't do it. Nobody's making you do this. Nobody even made you show up today. That's awesome. You can do whatever you want. If you want to sit at home, eat bonbons, and watch reruns of Survivor, that's fine. Go for it. I don't care what you want to do. But I promise you, Survivor's not going to write you a $10,000 check and send it to you. Okay? If you want to check Facebook or Instas or whatever you're doing all day long, that's rad. But chances are they're also not going to send you a commission check for selling a house. You got to do something to earn it. Okay? Print 100 more flyers, call and speak to 5 people who you know who are affiliated with large nonprofit organizations in your town. I'm going to put a caveat that I forgot to write on here, and I'm going to change this before I distribute it to everyone. So I just want you to know, you are actually going to do a donation if what I say here happens. I should have built it in because you have to have integrity. But you'll see in my script, you're making a commitment. You have to honor your commitments. That's how this works. Okay, you're going to speak to 5. What is a nonprofit organization, Jeff? All right, schools, universities, churches, veterans groups. There's other types of nonprofits. You probably know some people who are affiliated with some. Maybe there's like a local thing for, homeless or for the children or for single mothers or for whatever. Whatever you're passionate about, that's great. I want you to call the leadership. Right? But if not, if you got kids in school, they've got a nonprofit there. You got kids in, choir, orchestra, band, they got a nonprofit. If they're in football, they've got a nonprofit. There's all the booster organizations, they're all nonprofits. Call those people. During the conversation, you're going to ask them, well, hey, what are your guys' goals for the year with the nonprofit, with the booster organization, with the church, with the whatever, okay? Well, I'm planning out my charitable giving for the rest of the year, and I would actually really like to be able to make a donation to your group when a bit more business comes through for me. And to be frank, if I could get one more person buying or selling with me this month, I'd be in a much better position to make that happen. So not for nothing, I'm curious. Do you happen to know of anyone that might be looking to buy, sell a house in the area right now that I could be talking to? Does this really work, Jeff? Yes, this works. I did this a lot. This will produce business. Nonprofits are constantly looking for ways to fill their coffers. Now, again, I'm going to repeat my caveat. Make the donation. If they send you business, you make the donation. It's not a percentage. You're not doing a recompensation. You're simply saying, I would have enough money to be flush if I could simply have a little bit more business. That's fine. If you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. I believe in supporting nonprofits, so there. If they say yes, get the name, number, and the call the lead. If they say no, ask them if they would ask around, and you can call back in a few days to check in. That's awesome. Look, I know we're all looking to support more people with what we do, and I love the idea of working together with you guys to build something amazing here in our community. I'll call back in a couple of days once you've had a chance to poke around. Think about the collective impact, by the way, if realtors all over the country started doing this and supporting nonprofits. Think about how much you would push back into your community and how much you could actually change the world. I'm sorry, but I won't apologize for this one. I think it's freaking awesome. Do it. All right, number 5, as long as it takes. Do any leftover tasks, follow up from the day. No watching the news on television. Why? You'll see. Just do it for a week. Okay? No watching the news on TV. Just eliminate it from your diet completely. Well, but I love the news. Yeah, I know you do. But people love heroin too. That's not good for them either. And then keep your eating under control. It's been a long day. You're going to want to eat 3.5 pizzas. Don't do that. And then take a few minutes in silence. Meditate. Allow your mind to clear before you settle in for the evening. You've done a lot of walking, so you don't necessarily need to take a walk or do a workout or any of that. You're going to be fine. And then go to bed soon, around 10. Why? Because you're waking up before 8, so you probably still need to get 8 hours of sleep. 10's probably your last shot at getting that done. Well, I normally go to sleep at 2 a.m. 10. All right, cool. Day 2. Oh, by the way, I give you some personal notes. I'm not going to read those to you. You get those when you get the book. The personal notes are just my personal thoughts. The rantings of a lunatic. You get to read them later if you want. Day 2, quitters never win and winners never quit. Quitters never win and winners never quit, guys. So congratulations on surviving day 1, making it to day 2. I really want you to be aware of what the Navy SEALs call the 40% rule. How many people are aware of the 40% rule already? Hit me with a me if you know what the 40% rule is in the chat. You know what the 40% rule is? Navy SEALs live by it. Well, this is awesome. I'm going to help you guys. And by the way, Jessica says, eliminating the news is life-changing. Couldn't agree more. I'm going to love that one. I'm going to take a second. Where's my love? Where's my love? Dang it. Hold on. I'm doing it anyway. Love. Done. All right. I'm announcing it. The 40% rule, the Navy SEALs live this. And basically what it is it's a push-through rule. Thank you, Mackenzie. What it says is, when you believe you have reached the end of what you are capable of, you have actually only reached 40% and you have 60% more to give before you would actually just drop dead of exhaustion. whether that's physical, mental, anything. This applies in business. How many times have you been like, oh, I can't do anymore? But if someone came walking through the door and they put a gun to your head and they're like, do one more, you'd be like, yeah, feeling pretty good. Woo! Right? Like you could do one more. You just don't want to. You could do one more. You just were lacking, what was the word from earlier? Grit. This is why we're focused on grit. Grit says, I'm not done until the work is done. I'm not done until I have taken the entire island. I've burnt my boats. I will take the island. Right? That's the 40% rule. And so I want you guys to start being aware of it so that you can live it. It's amazing. I give a little bit more on that. The day 2 starts the same. Wake up, do the stuff. At hour 1, instead, we're going to do FSBOs. And then guess what? 9 o'clock, we're going to speak to, 2 hours. I'll fix that. 2 hours, we're going to speak to 10 local people who know, like, and trust you. All right. And we're going to simply be asking for referrals again. 10 people, but we're going to speak to 10. You're going to call more than 10. It'll take you however many dials it takes. You can tell there's some editing errors in here. This is what happens. We have to put this together in a week. All right. But I'm telling you guys, call and talk to 10. By the way, by this point, by day 2, I would be willing to bet money that if you have committed through day 1 all the way to this point in day 2, you already have multiple, probably more than 5 warm leads that have been passed off to you by the activities that you've already done. You might already have a buyer appointment and or a listing appointment if you've simply been doing this level of activity and work. This is a job. I hear people sometimes say, well, I don't know if real estate's for me. Maybe I should go get a job. I'm like, maybe you should just do the job first before you decide if this one's not for you. This is the job. This is a hard job. But guess what? So is Speaker of the House. So is pick a thing, right? Pick a thing that you have to check in for, that you have to really show up. President of the United States. I've been watching some presidential, what do you call them, documentaries. So you just need to understand this stuff is tough, but we're approaching it now like it's a job instead of like it's a hobby. There's a humongous difference in the outcomes that you can see. When people are saying, I'm making 300, 500,000, $1 million a year, it's because they're doing this. They're not sitting around praying to God that their phone rings. That's not going to work. 11 o'clock, 3.5 hours. You're going to grab your second batch of those 100 neon yellow printed sheets. You're going to drive over to the area of the open house. You're going to do 100 more doors. Oh, Jeff, I can't do it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. 40% rule. Yes, you can. Strap on your shoes, get ready to burn some calories, trim up the waistline. It's going to be great. All right. And guess what? I want you to say this affirmation out loud 5 times in the car before you get going. I am going to speak to a person in this neighborhood who needs my help today. I'm here to help them. It's my mission to find them here. They are hiding behind one of the 100 doors that I'm honored to knock on today. And I am in control of my destiny, and I will now prove it. Dude, trust me, if it doesn't give you, it gave me goosebumps just reading that I will now prove it gets exciting, man. And if you do that 5 times like you mean it, I promise you, here's what happens. It's really weird. You cannot believe things that other people say to you, but your brain has this weird tendency to believe everything that comes out of your mouth. If you let these words come out of your mouth, be careful, because the law of attraction says you will attract what you believe you will attract. So you get out of the car, you start knocking on those doors, you're going to knock down 100 of them. It's amazing. You're going to do the same process as yesterday. I give you all the scripts again, so you don't have to go looking for them, okay? 2:30 on day 2. On day 2, half hour, drive back to your workspace. What if I have extra time? Take a breath. That's all right. I'll allow it. 3 o'clock for an hour. Here we go. You just entered the competition phase of the challenge. For some of you who have been on some of my previous trainings, we've done this one before. You're going to call and speak to as many people as you can in an hour, and you're going to run the competition script. If you don't know it, that's all right. It's competition script. Go do it. I'm not going to cover it right now. Y'all know it works, though, right? We did that one. We generated over $6 million in commissions in 5 minutes of a crew running that script on this call previously. Y'all, $6 million in earned income. We generated $1.5 million in tax revenue for the guy. I'm just kidding. All right. So y'all are like, eye roll. I know. All right. Doesn't matter how you feel about that. It's true. Now, at 4 o'clock, you're going to print 100 more flyers. Barf. I know. Jeff, how many doors am I doing? 400. You're doing 400 doors. I'll fast forward it for you. 400 doors. This is why you're going to be successful. Because it's called grit. Because it's the 40% rule. I was giving up around door number 30 before. I know. That's okay. Just keep going. Show yourself what you're capable of. Take a few long, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Close your eyes and see if you can clear your mind for 60 seconds. Clear your mind for 60 seconds. By the way, It might be that the last time that you didn't have a single thought clouding your mind was before you were born. If you have not been practicing meditation, it's hard, man. Clearing your mind for 2 seconds is tough. 60 is tough, but try. Okay, 4:15 for 45 minutes. You're going to call all of you and follow up with all your leads and prospects from today and or yesterday. You're going to call every single one of them. Can't I text them? No, I said call. Stop being creative. Remember that the goal of getting them on the phone is to work with them, period. Ask about their needs. Listen carefully and only respond to their needs. There's the thing that happens. If any of you have, did anybody see the movie Wolf of Wall Street? Do you remember that one? Leonardo DiCaprio is this crazy guy named Jordan Belfort, who, by the way, was a real guy, trained a workforce of young people in their 20s to sell high-end equity financial products to like millionaires and billionaires. Leonardo is very sexy. That's funny. The real Jordan Belfort, not as sexy, but very smart. Also probably a psychopath. So I don't know if I'm endorsing him as a human, but crazy intelligent. He wrote a book called The Way of the Wolf where he covers his sales approach. I'm going to summarize something here for you, which is that he talks about what he refers to as going off to China or not staying on the straight line of a conversation. The straight line of a conversation is the distance between you and your goal. And a lot of times, you get someone on the phone and then they're like, well, I was just at a football game. You're like, I love football. One time I was this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. That's going off to China. Stop it. Oh, that's terrific. Well, listen, the purpose of my call is, and we're right back on the line. Be efficient. People respect you for that. If your surgeon called you to give you news, they wouldn't start chit-chatting about everything else, right? They would just stay on the straight line because it's their job and they get paid by the hour and they get paid a hell of a lot by the hour. And I want you to as well. So you have to act as if you are already that person. It's very exciting. Okay, keep going. You're going to take very close notes to what they say. You're going to ask questions based on what they say. And then you're going to put all of the commitments that you make because you're going to tell them what you're going to do next. Listen, John, that sounds great. I will send over a document to you that summarizes what my approach is on listing. Or I will send you over my Calendly so you can set a time that's convenient for both of us for us to meet. Or I will, right, send over a CMA for your house so you can take a look at that before I come over on Friday. Or I will, whatever. I want you to say, I will. And then I want you to immediately schedule doing the I will or do it. Or do it. If you got time to do it, do it. Okay? 5 p.m. as long as it takes. Do any leftover follow-up tasks for the day. No watching the news. Keep your eating under control. What does that mean? Keep your eating under control. It means don't eat very much. That's really what it means. I want you to stay a little bit hungry. Why? Hungry animals, yes, we're animals. Hungry animals want to hunt. If you've lost your drive, your motivation, your passion, your commitment, your fire, you want to get it back? I don't want to say starve yourself, but I don't want to not say it, so I'm going to say it like that. Just a little bit. Your body will take over. It's really weird what happens to your emotions. Your emotions are driven by your hormones. The hormones react. Oh, I'm going to skip over my little private note there so you get to read it later. Day 3 is called Keep Going. Winston Churchill once said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Okay? If this feels like hell at this point, that's all right. It's going to be worth it for the payday. You know what feels a lot more like hell? Getting into the end of 12 months and not having one. Tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Don't do it. All right, 8 o'clock. Speaking to 5 FSBOs again. Look at this. It looks a lot like day 1. Okay, we change up a couple things in here. I want you to dig through it, but we're on a 2-day rotation. There are some things that have changed. There are some things that have not changed. Predominantly, this is all the same. There are going to be a couple edits. So if you're seeing stuff on here that doesn't make any sense, it's just because we didn't have time to put this through the editor just yet before we put it out. Part of that's because we're going at the speed of light over here, guys. Day 4, massive action. It will be by the time you get it. I promise it's going to be awesome. Tony Robbins said, the path to success is to take massive, determined action. Okay? Or as I like to say, nobody accidentally won the Olympics. Whoops, I guess I swam really fast. No, that didn't happen. George Adair once said, everything that you want is sitting on the other side of fear. Okay, so we got to keep going. Day 4, we're going to do more. We're going to do more. We're going to go for a long time. We're going to go door knocking. Then when we get down to the end of the day, we're going to do the competition phase again. Whew, Jeff, I'm getting tired. It's okay. I'm getting tired just reading it to you. Okay, but here's the thing. Day 5, this is where it starts mixing up. On day 5, we're doing our open house. We've spent 4 days door knocking 100 doors a day, calling for sale by owners, calling our sphere, calling local business owners, calling nonprofits, calling and setting up appointments with all of those people and asking for warm referrals. How do you think your business is already looking after just 4 days and now you're arriving at an open house? And everyone in the neighborhood, I shouldn't say everyone, 400 people in the neighborhood have been invited to your open house. This is amazing. You should be ready. Guess what though? Doesn't matter. We're waking up at 8 a.m. We're going to do 2 hours. We're going to call local business owners. I love this one. Local business owners. Okay. Hi, this is Bill. Or is this Bill? Sorry. Great. This is Jeff with eXp Realty. I'm very aware of your business and its reputation here in town. And I've been meaning to call to ask you, do you have at least 2 real estate agents locally that you refer real estate business to? I'll explain why. 2? Yeah, because everyone knows one. Okay, well, listen, I know everyone knows at least one agent, but I also know that clients love for us to give them options. So I'd love to be your first, second choice. And what do you think? Let them talk. That's okay. Well, I don't really want to. All right, sounds good. Click, next call. I really appreciate it if they say yes. I can drop off a few of my cards for you to pass along when needed. And by the way, on that note, what specifically can I do to help you grow your business? Take notes. Do it. Whatever they say. Well, you could send my ice cream shop a couple new customers, man. That's great. Hey, Mom, I know you're over there near that ice cream shop. Could you go have some ice cream with Dad later today? Get a pint on me, right? I'll send you the check. Tell them Jeff sent you or whatever. Remember, this is part of building rapport with other business owners. Here's what I like about this. How many people know the difference between multiplication and addition? Calling business owners is multiplication. What do businesses do? They engage with many, many people in the environment. What do most individuals do? Maybe 100 to 200. Usually it's just the people they're with at work, and that usually goes down to somewhere between 12 and 25. I'm making all those numbers up, but they've got to be close. Okay, so here's the thing. If you are engaging with business owners, that's mass multiplication. And if you get 1 or 2 of them behind you that are really passionate about helping you to really multiply your business, you will go further faster. And I love that. Cassie says, as a local radio voice, I'm going to engage like crazy with business owners. Yeah, heck yeah. And guess what? If you're not currently doing that, start a YouTube podcast, start a video podcast, start an Instagram channel. I know we've got a Jessica's on here, Mills, and she's an amazing personality on social media. Same kind of concept, right? So rad. Hey, guess what? Boom, boom, boom. Here's what I'm doing. I'd love to promote you on my thing. You promote me on yours, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, this is just good business. As it turns out, business owners, the tribe hangs together. You need to be engaging with other business owners. Plus, guess what? If they're smart, maybe they can help you grow your business. That's awesome. I hang out with business owners all the time. I was hanging out with a guy the other day who sold his company for a 20x multiplier. I don't know what he sold it for, but I'm pretty sure it was like strong 9, maybe 10 figures. It's rad. It's cool. Got to think bigger. Got to hang out with bigger to think bigger. Okay. So how does your brain stretch? Be around people who make it stretch. That's great. So do this, and it's a little bit of an I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of a situation. That's really good. Back scratching, always a good idea. All right. Now, in this hour, you're actually going to take care of your follow-up calls and stuff because the rest of your day is going to be obligated. Then at 11 o'clock, you are going to print 100 more flyers to take with you to the open house, and you're going to set up. This is the setup time block. Okay, I recommend you take 2 outfits because you're going to get sweaty in one. If you've never put out 20 to 30 signs, you are going to sweat. It's hard, especially if it's hot outside. Sometimes it's hard to put them in the ground. I used to have an 18-inch long drill bit, and I'd put my signs in with that. Makes the ground a lot easier to put them in. Figure it out. But I would suggest you get out there and get started right away. When you get to the house, turn on all the lights, set the AC to comfortable temperature, and then do a live video walkthrough on social. Promote the open house. Say the address. Should I say the price? No, you don't say the price. Make them ask. You're trying to start conversations with people. What people are most likely to start this conversation? People interested in real estate. Those are the people you want to be talking to. This is a good thing. Hold back one critical piece of information. It's usually the piece everyone wants. I see them all the time. I see a property. Just the other day, somebody posted this big acreage cabin property in an area I'm really interested in. And I was like, oh man. So they didn't post the price. I was like, you son of a gun, you sneaky little burger. And then I had to DM them. I know what they're trying to do. They want the business, and that's okay. I respect that. All right. Then you're going to head out. You're going to put 2 to 4 signs on every single corner with the signs, arrows pointing in the direction of travel to the open house. This process is important. By the way, I would recommend, just as a quick thing, go ahead and print out a map before you ever go there, maybe the night before. Mark where all those intersections are so you can see what all the main thoroughfares are. You're going to try and catch as many of the main traffic roads as you possibly can. You're trying to get traffic, literal traffic, to the open house. You want people who are just driving by to be like, I want to go check that out. Got nothing better to do. Awesome. Because those are the types of people who might be thinking about buying or selling. The neighbors are already invited. They're coming. You're trying to get drive-by traffic now. Okay, really, really important. So be really thoughtful about that number of signs, placement, and directionals. Okay, this is really, really a big deal. And make sure that there's at least one in front of the house that says that where you're at the open house. I've seen people who remember all the directionals and then forget to actually label the house itself. Very confusing. It needs to say open house out in front. Okay, for 4 hours, you're going to hold the house open. Well, I normally do them for 2. I know. 4 hours, you're going to hold the house open. And then while you're there, by the way, if there's nobody coming into your open house, I didn't write this on here, but I would like for you to go ahead and keep calling other people. Why would you waste that time? Well, I just wanted to check my Facebook. Don't do that. I promise you, just call other people. We are in a warrior week challenge. I don't want you to become weak. It's a week long, not W-E-A-K long. All right. So you're trying to, number one, figure out if the person who walks through is a buyer, seller, or a nosy neighbor. Nosy neighbors are dangerous, right? I shouldn't say dangerous, but some people do come into open houses occasionally with, not great intent in terms of stealing things. Number two, if they're a buyer, you're going to try and see if the house is a fit. And if not, you want to preface the fact that that's fine. Who cares? By the way, it's over 50% of people who come into an open house don't buy that house. So just realize you're not trying to hard sell them the one house that they're in. You're trying to build a relationship and build rapport so that you can show them other houses. If they're a seller, if there's someone who lives in the neighborhood, they're like, no, I just live here in the neighborhood. Oh, great. So you want to try and figure out if they want a hardworking agent like you to give them an accurate estimate of what they could make when they sell. Look, you've probably already seen all the stats. By the way, here's one of my flyers. It's got all the recent pendings, active, solds, all on there. But that doesn't really tell us everything. If I took a look at your house, I could tell you really what you could sell right now in the current market. Is there a time this week that I could maybe swing by? It takes about 30 minutes. Go right for the close, guys. Don't wait. And number 4, build rapport. Learn about their needs and wants, their goals. What do they want? Right? It's like a coaching conversation. What are you trying to accomplish? Where are you right now? It's like your Google Maps for their future. Right? Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Here's how you get there. Let's go together. Let's go together. I'll be Google Maps. Make sure that you have your legal pad or some other way to take notes. Some people use a Remarkable. Some people use an iPad. Some people use a whatever pad. I don't care. Just make sure you can write stuff down. And then if somebody's looking to buy a house, you might actually say something to get their information like, great, well, look, listen, this house isn't the only one on the market. I would love to send you several others that might actually be a great fit for you based on kind of what you told me. Would you mind texting me your email address so I could send over those details? This is a very specific script. If I say text me your email address and I already know their name, I now have their name, their cell phone number, and their email address. Those are 3 pieces of data I really want. Okay? So I always use that one. Text me your email address. Oh, hey, listen, I'm going to go check the lights and whatever. I'm going to check the rotary girder on the Fetzer valve. But while I'm doing that, would you mind texting me your email address? You just need to act like you can't write it down. All right, keep going. 5 o'clock, 1 hour. When you're done, set the AC back where it was, turn off the lights, lock the doors and windows, gather your personal items, head on out, put on your install outfit if you don't want to get your nice outfit unnice, right? And go pick up all your signs. Depends on where you live. Some people on this call live in the Northwest where it rains 363 days a year. So, you might get mud on yourself. Just be aware of that. And then 6 p.m., as long as it takes, do any leftover tasks, follow up. You might have a lot of follow-up if you had a lot of people come through the open house, and you probably will. You handed out 400 flyers, and you held a 4-hour open house. There's a good chance you got some stuff to do. Do it. Go to bed at 10-ish. Whoops. And day 6, look at that. We're getting there, guys. 2 more days. Day 6, you're stronger than you know. Okay? Michael Jordan said, if you do the work, you get rewarded. There are no shortcuts in life. I love that. And Tim Grover, who coached Michael Jordan, said, decide, commit, act, succeed, and repeat. And I define what those are here. Decide, commit, act, succeed, and repeat. I believe that you have to decide what you're willing to sacrifice for. That's what you really want. You have to burn your boats and take the island. That means you don't leave yourself any way out of going after your goals. Announce it. Do something that holds you accountable. If your goals are options, they're not goals. their weak sauce, their New Year's resolutions. Act. Massive action is 100% linked to results. If you have a 1-year goal, try and accomplish it in a week, every week for the entire year. That's massive action. It works. And then success, that's just a byproduct of doing the first 3. Repeat, because success feels great. Keep going. All right. Oh, and I put one more in here. Jordan Belfort said, if you want to be rich, never give up. People tend to give up. If you have persistence, you'll come out ahead of most people. But more importantly, you'll learn. And when you do something, you might fail. But that's not because you are a failure. It's because you haven't learned enough. Do it differently each time, and one day you'll do it right. Failure is your friend. Failure is your friend. All right, so then we get going. We do 1 hour. Call and speak to all the leads from the open house. That was the day before. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it. And then guess what? You're going to read this script. Hey, how you doing? Well, this is actually a business call. Do you have just a minute? Boom, 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 boom. You're going to keep going. All right. Next up, 1 hour. Call and speak to 5 FSBOs. Jeff, I'm tired. I don't care. Keep going. 10 o'clock, 2 hours. Speak to 10 local people who know, like, and trust you. We're using another referral script. Bear in mind that at this point in the week, it's very possible that you might have appointments showing up where people said, I might want to buy or sell. That's great. Any of these time blocks can be completely supplemented with an appointment time block. If your whole entire week was appointments, you'd be closing a lot more than 5 a week. So it's not a problem. That's a result. That's a result, guys. All right, starting at noon, call a professional from each of the following categories. This is totally new. Here's the professional categories: probate attorney, CPA, painter, landscaper, AC repair person, handyman, appliance repair, carpet cleaner, electrician, flooring expert, house cleaner, roofer, mover, storage company owner, and contractor. Well, I've already got all those. Great. Call them all anyway. Change the script a little bit if you need to. Hi, this is Jeff with eXp Realty. I'm calling because I'm building my local preferred vendor program, and I'm in need of a terrific probate attorney, right? You see how that works? I've seen your business around town. I'm looking to make some powerful connections, share some business back and forth. Do you currently have someone that you trust to refer real estate business to here in town? Okay, this is a really important piece, guys. And then here's the thing. If they say, yes, I already have one, you're going to ask to be their first, second choice. If they say, no, I don't, you're going to say, great, and take the slot. This is not hard, but it is necessary. And then guess what? You're going to create a preferred vendor list. This is amazing. If you don't already have it, you should. Starting at 2 o'clock, I've been wanting to text message people all week. You finally get to. I want you to save your voice for a little bit. You're probably tired. A lot of talking so far this week. You're going to spend 3 hours sending text messages. Now, y'all, I want a little bit of like a check-in on honesty here. How many text messages can most of us send in like a minute? Let's be honest. If you're cutting and pasting and hitting send. Cassie says a shit ton. Yeah, I think that is, yeah, Chad says, like he's doing like 5s and 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. Yeah, dude, like a lot, right? Like we're all like, we all have, biometrically enhanced thumbs or whatever you call it. These, all our thumbs are running on AI algorithms. Like we can all text a ton at this point. If you're doing 3 hours of texting, you should be cramping by the end, okay? Which is fine with me. I want you to rip it. Yeah, you can use your CRM, but not if it's leveraging a smart number. I actually say it on here, Cassie. I want it to come from your phone. So this is a really important differentiation because I want people to save your number and to recognize it so that when they give it out to friends, they're giving out your number. Okay? Really important. All right, so let's get back on it. Check this out. The text message can sound something like this. I am fine with this, you making this your own. Hi, friend, hope you're doing well. I just got some amazing advice from one of my business coaches. That's me. They said, I should be more purposeful about connecting with people I trust and care about, you, to create business relationships more organically. So with that in mind, I really hope you won't be offended if I ask you a quick business question. Who do you know that might want to sell or buy a home in the next 12 months? You are going to rip that to as many people as possible. I have done this exercise. By the way, I've done this exercise on a live coaching call where the entire coaching call was just me seeing how many that the other person could do. And they're like, and I told them, listen, if this feels like a waste of your time at the end, I'll refund your time. They picked up like 6 referrals in an hour. 6 in an hour. I'm like, sometimes it's not that you're doing the wrong thing, it's that you're not doing enough of the right thing. Okay. So we've just got to ramp up our efforts. I want your goal to be to send like 1,800 text messages. Like it's got to be like some bananas number. Like, I don't even know, and then, but I don't even want you to sort by, well, that person lives in Arkansas and I live in Florida. I don't care. You are able to refer business anywhere. Send a referral. If they send you something, that's fine. just keep sending texts. This is awesome. All right, this is really, really important. And if you have some other cool way of hacking that, you can mask your number and send a bunch of SMS, then you've got no excuse and you should be sending 3 billion text messages per day. Why are you not already doing that if you already have that system? Next up. As long as it takes at 5 p.m., you're going to do the follow-up tasks from the day, any commitments that you have from the day, and then you're going to go to bed. Whoops, sorry. Day 7, you're going to finish strong. All right. I know everybody's got their own sports people. If you know me, you know I'm not a sports guy, so I don't really care if you like Tom Brady or not, but he has won 5 Super Bowl MVP awards. He's also done 649 passing touchdowns, which is 3,894 points just on touchdown passes. So he's good at football, I think. He says, if you don't play to win, don't play at all. That's my feeling too. If you're not here to win, what are you doing with your life? For real. Did you really, when you were a little kid, you're like, I just want to grow up to be mediocre at something. I just kind of want to be sort of below average and phone it in and never feel good about myself. But at least I'm going to be really good at beating myself up. Right? No, then you just got to pay a lot of money to a therapist. That's terrible. So win or go home. I love that. So your life is not a rehearsal. What are you waiting for? All right. That's awesome. So you're going to speak to all leads again from your open house. You're going to go through carefully. You're going to run the same script. At 9 o'clock, you're going to speak to 5 for sell by owner property owners. 10 o'clock, speak to 10 people who know, like, and trust you, running a referral script. 12 o'clock, 2 hours, calling a professional from each category. Again, you're doubling down. Right? This is awesome. And then starting at 2 o'clock, you're going to do the SMS, and then you are going to rock on. Here's the one thing that switches at this point. By the way, I would recommend that you don't watch TV news for the rest of your life. And then on day 7, when you have successfully finished this, I want you to eat a larger meal because you are psychologically rewarding the hunter part of your brain for a week-long hunt. I know this sounds weird. There is no greater thing that you can do. I see Aaliyah smiling a little bit. It's okay. Just trust me, this works. Here's what happens. Humans have forgotten that we're all hunters and gatherers. We just forgot, right? Because you can go to the grocery store and you can buy bonbons, you can buy Oreos, you can just get really lazy and soft. You can sit on the couch and food gets delivered to your front door now by GrubDash or whatever, right? Like all the things. But we have just forgotten to lion up. We've forgotten that we are agent lions. And if you want to be a hunter, you need to get a little bit hungry. Turns out one way to tap into that is to get actually a little bit hungry. It works. So I want you to spend the week going through some of these processes and actually committing. So actually, I'm not going to do it during this session. I am going to post it both inside the community center, inside our private Facebook group. And also, if you're a guest, hit up the person who invited you today and I'll send them the PDF. They can send it to you. Okay. I am going to distribute this PDF, but this is a 7-day challenge. Now, here's my one last final statement that I want to make for you guys, because I think this stuff matters a lot. If you go through this challenge, you are going to need to take a day off at the end. It's really like an 8-day challenge, right? Day 7, I don't view it as a rest day. Sometimes I think out of a sense of entitlement, we treat ourselves before we're deserving of the treat, right? Do you remember when you were a kid and your mom or dad might have said, if you whatever, then you can whatever you want, right? The thing that you want. Have a cookie. I don't know, whatever it was for you, right? My parents used food as a reward, which is why I battled with my weight later in life. Thanks, mom and dad. Just kidding. I love my parents. But it's true, right? Like that's what happens. If you use something as a reward, then we crave it later. The problem is later in life when we have access to everything, we stop setting up reward structures for ourselves because we can get everything right away. So when you can set up a reward structure for yourself, then you can reward yourself for good behavior. And I know that may sound weird, but I would recommend that you use restriction and reward as a process in your world that can drive your behavior so you can get what you want. Because you might be like, well, I don't want to eat a little less, or I don't want to door knock on 400 doors. Nobody does. Or I don't want to call and speak to 5 for sale by owners, or whatever it is that you don't want. But you know what I do know that you want is $50,000. And I had a coach one time tell me, is there any problem? In fact, answer this in the chat. For those of you who are still conscious and hanging with me, answer in the chat. You ready? Is there any problem in your life right now that an extra $50,000 a month wouldn't help or solve? For most, nope, no problems that wouldn't help. Some people have some problems that wouldn't help. It would solve a lot. Nope, no problems that wouldn't help or solve. No, not one. No, nope, no, nope. Yes, a couple. Right. And so here's the thing. Any problem that you have that an extra $50,000 a month wouldn't solve, I would categorize that as a real problem. I can give you an example. My child has a sickness, right? That kind of a thing. I don't have children, but if you have that, that is a problem that money might actually help with, but it won't solve, right? And I can accept that. And I can appreciate that. Or if you personally are experiencing a medical battle, or right, somebody in your life that you love just passed away, or something like that. Like, those are heavy things. That's real life stuff. That's okay. Money doesn't fix that. It doesn't make it go away. Might still make it easier, but who knows, right? But if your answer is no, I don't have a single problem in my world that money wouldn't make better, then you only have one problem. That one problem is your ability to make money. That's it. That's really easy to tackle, man. But I would say then, if 1 week of hard work, of true dedication, of going for it, of really getting fired up and going after your real goals and dreams isn't worth an entire season of feeling better about all of your problems getting better, you're not processing this quite the way that I would, at least yet, right? So when that was said to me by a coach many years ago, I realized that the only chase that I actually needed was the stability, the security, the advancement, the future pacing that financial security can give myself, can give my family, can give people I love and care about. And now I try to pay that forward, which is why I'm here, right? I'm not getting paid to be here right now. If I didn't show up, I still get paid the same, nanny boo boo. But why am I here? Because I want you guys to be successful. Period. I really do. It matters a ton. And so what I want you to think about is that question throughout the week. Is there one single thing in my entire world that an extra, whatever, you pick the number. Whenever that number gets sexy enough for you, then figure it out. 50,000 a month, 50,000 a week. I don't care what it is. But you could do this 1 week per month. You'd be spending the rest of the week or the rest of the month playing follow-up from your crazy week, right? This is where it gets a little bit weird. And some of you might be like, Jeff's a lunatic. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing yet. Because wait until you see me when I'm in a challenge like this. Guys, I'm just telling you, you have to at some point put on your battle armor again and be willing to warrior up. Be willing to be the lion that is deep inside you. Okay, I'm going to pause right there because it's starting to sound like a sermon and I don't mean for it to. I just get fired up on this stuff. And I want to take some questions so we can do some Q&A or anybody else who has some thoughts about it. Let's get crazy. I love that. Yeah. Anyone else have some comments or some questions based on the content and based on what you're going to get out of this challenge? Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's for someone in your group. Maybe it's for someone on your team. Maybe it's for someone you know who's like struggling to get started, to get jump started inside their real estate career. Chad says, when you put it like that, who won't get fired up? That's right, Chad. Thanks, brother.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yeah, go for it. What's your question?
It's Joanne.
Hey, Joanne.
We've been in and out with sell range, but one question that it's always bugged me with the 30 open house signs, and I want you to set me straight on this. Do you start from the outside and come towards the house is the first question, or the other way? And secondly, if it takes you 2 hours to do the signs, aren't people like wandering around not finding the open house for 2 hours and get frustrated with that? So how do you handle that?
Yeah, I usually have a sign at the front door of the house that says open house and then the time frame on it. I generally handwrite those. If you do all of your open houses on the same time block, then you can just print them out and you can always have them just posted there. Some people also use a sign writer for this, right? Where it'll say open 1 to 4, 1-4, that kind of thing, or 1-5 or whatever your time frame is.
So they follow the signs and then they know when to come back, basically.
Yep. I want them to actually drive all the way to the house though, right? And that's my personal spin on this. But I believe that you actually have a greater likelihood of them coming back later. If they drive to the house, they see it, they're like, oh, interesting. I would like to see the inside of that. Now they're going to bookmark it in their brain. It starts at 1. I'll come back at 1. It's 11:30 or it's 12 or it's 12:15.
Thank you.
Whatever. Yeah, you bet. Mike, did I see you on there, brother? No worries. Anybody else have a comment or question? Ooh, I covered it all today then. That's good. How many people have done a week like this before? A crazy week, a week where you just push yourself to do as much as is humanly possible in 1 week. I'll admit it. Yeah. Kinsey says, I really needed this today. You are welcome, Kinsey. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, can I add a
Hey,
comment?
there's John.
Can I add a comment?
Yeah, of course. What's up, brother?
You know, this is such a great thing with challenges, guys. And because, it's hard for us to think like, I'm going to do this forever. Well, you don't have to, per se, is one. And then the other is to realize that, and I remember many times we set up 90-day challenges, what? And so one of the things I'd ask you to do when you look at this is, and I love what Jeff said about we're capable of so much more, but sometimes we need to have a support system around us. But the other is that you want to talk to your partners, your spouse, your kids during this and say, hey, here's the reality. Many people are struggling today. Many of you that are on this call are struggling in your business. If something doesn't happen pretty quick, some other changes are going to have to happen, which will not be as good as you selling real estate, like Jeff said. So it's getting those other folks to say, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. How can you support me with this? How can we make sure that we're in agreement? Because they might feel lonely. And that's one of the things, when we change our habits, what happens is oftentimes we get resistance from a lot of people around us. So for example, let's say you only work 3 hours a day. Your spouse, your partners, your kids, they've gotten used to you running around and doing all their bull crap. They've gotten used to you being there for every call. And now when you're not doing it, they don't understand the money problem. They just know you're not doing it and they get pissed or they get upset. Now you feel bad. So it's a great way to actually come together and say, look, these are the changes we need to make. I'm doing this for the family. If I do this, how can I make sure I still support you and that we win together? Because you need the people around you to be on the same page as much as possible and realize sometimes they're not going to be, but they don't understand the consequences if you don't make a change. And so sometimes as leaders, we have to try and get to consensus, but then sometimes we have to override what other people think around us because they are not aware of the challenge. I mean, especially children, sometimes even spouses, they're not aware of if these changes don't make the consequences that they're going to have. And that's where we have to step up and lead ourselves first. Sometimes we have to lead others most of the time. And that's where it can be challenging. So I just encourage you to have a conversation with people. And then what Jeff says is step up. Like we're so much more capable than we think we are. And I know most people on this call, we all are.
Oh man, I love that, John. Yeah, of course it does. And anybody who doesn't know Coach John, John K. Sellers, I'm using his full name here so you can find him on YouTube. But yeah, John, incredible advice and so true. Yeah, you are going to be very disruptive in your own world. And if you're single, that's great. But if you have a family or people relying on you, people around you, they are going to need to understand what happens before it starts happening. And suddenly you go nuclear and they're like, what's going on? Because it could get negatively disruptive in your family department if you don't have agreement and consensus on that prior to starting. That's super smart, man. Yeah, I agree. I think we all have more that we're capable of. Who's that?
It's Liz.
Hey, Liz.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Hey, Jeff, I just want to say, like, you blow my mind all the time, but I'm thinking about my business right now. And then I'm thinking about all the other agents that are considering going to get a part-time job. And I wonder if they actually did this. Like, I don't think they're going to have time for a part-time job anymore. Like, I hope that everyone will take this seriously if they're in that place and try this first, because it could really leverage your business. And I'm so glad that you shared your knowledge because I know that you've done it and I know that it works. And so I'm excited to do it. I'm really scared, but I'm excited. Not scared, but it's uncomfortable doing the hard stuff, but you've given us a roadmap and that's the best part. So thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. And also for anyone who doesn't know, Liz Boisvert, multiple Icon award-winning superstar agent out of the West Coast. But by the way, Liz, you're totally right. Like it's going to be disruptive. It's going to be challenging. But if you are, and we said this earlier in the call, but I'll reiterate it. I have heard some agents right now be like, maybe I should get a job. Yeah, maybe that job should be called spend 8 to 12 hours a day doing real estate. Right? But sometimes we say doing real estate and what we all think of is like writing a contract, right? And that is not the doing of the real estate that I'm talking about. This is finding business. This is being an agent lion. And that's why I'm coining that term today, is because I want all of us to really know that you can lion up and you can become an agent lion. I see Jason Giles on here. Speaking of superstars, geez Louise, the house is full of crazy lunatic awesomeness today. This is good stuff, man.
Well, I knew I had to talk today. No matter what happened, I had to say something. But I piggyback off of John and Liz. The thing in our house is we tell our kids, it's kind of a joke. We say, we have to build an empire. And we said that to them because every time I got on the phone, that's when they needed something. Nothing else all the other time. But as soon as I picked up that phone and said, yeah, I could show you a house, they needed something too. So now I'll tell them, like, if I pick up the phone, I'll whisper, hey, we're building an empire. And then they kind of scurry away like, okay, they're working. This is what they're doing. So it's kind of the joke in our house, right? And then to go back with Liz, what I was thinking earlier is that if we had a job and that job said, hey, Jason, go out and put 100 flyers on the door and bring me one person who wants to buy or sell a house, or you're fired today, I would have to go out there and do that. So tell yourself, am I going to be fired today? What do I have to do to keep my job, right? What do I have to do to keep it? We say a lot in this industry that this isn't a just over broke, this isn't a job, and it's not, but you have to act as if it is. You have to have that mindset to where if I don't do these things, this is what's going to happen. So every time I come in here, man, this is powerful. And what I did is I invited some people from our personal organization that when we're done with this, we're going to set up a Zoom. And I'm going to come up with a challenge for us in that organization to see what we could do this week on how we can push each other and just get to the next level, create some really good habits. So thanks, Jeff. Always powerful, brother. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Jason. You're an awesome leader, man. And anybody who doesn't know Jason and his wife, Jen, incredible, awesome people, great leaders and killer producers. You're absolutely right. I think you have to commit. And I think it's about setting yourself up for understanding what you're truly capable of. And the challenge that many of us have is that we haven't really pushed our potential in a while, right? I can speak for myself. I go in and out of these seasons, guys. We all know it. Right? And you know what you're capable of, but then when you're not living to it, it starts getting squirrely and it starts feeling further and further away. And you feel more and more disconnected from your true self, from your, let's call it agent lion, right? And so I want you to come back to your core and, beast mode up, find yourself. I see so many people, I'm like, I'm doing 75 hard. I'm dropping poundage like you couldn't believe. They're approaching that like it's a job. If you want a job, focus on your business first. Right? That's awesome. And get yourself in stability so your family can take care of yourself and get a really nice gym membership and go bananas over there. That's awesome. But I'm just telling you, man, get some stability in your world. Start planning for the future and get yourself stable. And you're going to feel really good. Did I see Mike Holt on there?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? The wind's blowing a little bit.
I can hear you, brother. What's up?
Awesome, man. Hey, dude, this was absolute fire like you always are, but this was awesome, man. And it hit like in a soft spot for me. I don't think it's by accident, man. A lot of the top agents that I talk to, they're all former athletes or high producers at something else. The high producers that are, producing the 100 or 200 sales or whatever it is every year that are crazy numbers for a lot of people. And they're doing it because they have the same consistent grind that they have in other areas of their life, right? And one of the things, like, I've always been consistent, hard work, gritty in the gym, but I sometimes fall short of that in the business world. So one of the things I've really tried to focus on this year is just having that consistent grind in all areas of my life. It's so far this year, it's helped me become a better father. It's helped me become a better husband, and it's helping me become a better business owner. And I'm excited about it. The other thing I wanted to mention is you talked about businesses, reaching out to businesses and or schools. Two things. One, this is National Teachers Week, so don't forget to use that as an opportunity to reach out to teachers, thank them for what they do, hand out your business cards, bring some donuts or something along those lines. But two, one of the ladies that I know in Hawaii, she would always partner with schools and say, hey, and the principals would put this up and be like, hey, you need to raise money. I want to help people. Let's work together. Every referral that I get from the school, if they mention it, I'll donate X number of dollars or X percentage of my commission back to the school. And it helped her grow her business phenomenally, and it helped her help the community. So it's definitely a double back scratching opportunity. And I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and like I said before, first off, I love it. I love that people are out there supporting stuff. I didn't know it was National Teachers Week. And also, just so everyone knows, like, listen, get out there, support nonprofits. Maybe don't, like that woman was doing, commit to a specific percentage, because that's starting to feel a little bit like, receiving commission. But I will say this. Here's the deal. If you are trying to actively support your community and do good things out there, I think that's amazing. Do call teachers right now, though. Holy moly. I didn't know it was National Teachers Week. Thanks, Mike. And Mike used to be a teacher, and a powerful one, I imagine. Also, it looks like you're out door knocking right now. What are you doing, man?
I
see the
actually
sun.
was door knocking. So, and now I'm just now getting back to the house.
I love it. Yeah, see, and he's the top producer. So that tells you something right there. He's got his hat and his shades on. He's doing the work, right? Listen, and here's the one other thing I will tell you guys. I talk to people all the time, and a lot of times what I hear back, and if this is you internally, I want you to challenge yourself right now. If you're telling yourself why you can't do it, I want you to push back internally. I want you to be your own best coach. Well, every neighborhood I live in, I heard this from somebody. I live in Naples and all the neighborhoods are gated. All of them, 100% of them. Not one person in Naples lives in a non-gated community. I'm going to call BS on that, right? I'm guessing you could find 400 doors in some neighborhood somewhere that's not that. Well, I can't find a house to hold open. You can't, really? Or you haven't tried hard enough? Because I never once had a problem with that. Not one singular time. And I was trying to put open houses together for 14 people at a time. So, that was like more than a couple of opportunities we were looking for. You just need to push back on yourself. Don't accept your limiting speech and your limiting behavior as the reasons why you can't do something. It's the reasons why you won't do it. I believe that all day long, but you certainly could if you simply were gritty. Angela Duckworth says so. Jason, I saw you unmute, brother.
Yeah, just one last thing, man. And it was powerful on this. And now I'm like, darn it, I'm not pushing myself enough. Is when you said 40%. There's so many times I've been at the gym and I feel like I'm going to faint. And I'm like, Jeff just told me I had 60% more. So I got to do better. So that's something I'll be telling myself daily. Am I at 100% or did I just use 40? So once again, man, thanks, brother.
Well, you're welcome. And, there's a whole story around, or that I learned that from, where there was a billionaire, I try to remember his name. I'll post it later if I can remember it, who hired a Navy SEAL to come live with him. If somebody knows this, shout it out. I don't care. But hired a Navy SEAL to come live with him. And what happened is that Navy SEAL moved in, and one of his very first exercises, he says, I want you to do 20 pull-ups, right? Or 20, maybe it was push-ups. I don't remember, some ups, right? And so he does the 20. And then the Navy SEAL says, I want you to do 10 more. He's like, okay, man, I'll do 10 more. And after that, he says, I want you to do 3 more. Like, geez Louise. So he barely muscles out the 3 more and he's exhausted, like arms flapping at his head. We've all done that one, right? Like you just feel like you've got spaghetti arms. You're about to fall off. The heart's pumping. And then the Navy SEAL looked at him straight in the eyes and said, perfect. Now do 100 more. And he said he stayed there with him for the rest of the time. And he had to do it one at a time, but he made it to 100 more after he got to the end of that spaghetti arm. And I will tell you that a lot of times we quit well short of what we're capable of. And if you're one of those people, and I think it was just shy of 100% of us who says, I haven't reached my potential yet, meaning I haven't made it to what I'm truly capable of in this life, then it's because you're consistently stopping short of what you're actually capable of. You're cutting off the good stuff. And the problem is almost everything in this life exists on an exponential growth curve. Watch my finger real quick coming across the screen. Here it goes. This is what success looks like. And there it is. But the problem is if you're stopping here, you're never getting to the good stuff. The good stuff was over here, remember? Because it comes across, I'll do it the other way. And then it goes up at the very end. It's called an exponential growth curve. Most things work that way. They aggregate and multiply at the end. It's compounding interest. Am I right, John?
Well, it's true, Jeff. And it's the idea that, we always have reasons, and we can go back to our days at KW, right? You can have reasons or you can have results. You can't have both. And there's so many reasons that can get in the way of the winning that you need to have or that we want to have. And we just need to decide that we're not going to have reasons for it. And there's always something. Our minds are so crazy powerful of ways we can come up for reasons not to do the things we need to do. How do we make our programming work so that it's actually helping us get done the things we need to do?
Sorry, tech bobble there. Dana
No,
says,
did you
it
catch
was
that?
David. Yeah, I did. David Goggins. Yeah, I was just trying to unmute myself and my screen got buried. So David Goggins, that's the guy. Yeah. And then I don't remember who the billionaire was, lived with the Hawks owner.
Jesse
All right,
Eichler.
there we go.
It's Jesse Eichler.
Perfect. Thank you, Jesse Eichler. All right. See, usually I'm such a good name dropper, right? It's part of being a high I, but I didn't do it today. All right. It's a really, really great opportunity to spend time with all of you guys today. I want to do one more shout out. If you're one of our many, many guests today watching this, or if you're watching it on the replay on any of our channels, anything like that, I would like to encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you here today. We are actively building the community at eXp Realty. We are supporting our agents, and our agents are producing at a disproportionate result to the rest of the industry. Why? Because of support and education. It's just like children, right? All of us need to learn. All of us need to grow. And all of us tend to reach our potential when we are in the right soil. If you put a plant in a bucket, with the right soil, it's going to grow. If you put a plant in a bucket and you fill the bucket with cement, it's weird. That plant does not seem to do very well. Okay. I want to encourage you guys, reach out to that person, find out a little bit more, figure out why so many people are so happy and why so many top agents are joining us right now. This is a really big thing, and you deserve to understand what you're saying no to before you say no to it. That's what smart business people do. I would encourage you to do the same thing. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. As always, it is my pleasure to support the community.